Proverbs 6:6-8 says this. It says, "Go to the ant, you slacker, observe its ways and become wise. Without a leader, without administrator, without a ruler, it prepares its provisions in the summer, in the good times, for food during harvest." Hello and welcome to Power Cues, where we answer teens' question using scripture, using the Bible. This series that we're going to be doing this month is called Money, 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 Money. How should we view money through a biblical lens? Now, last month we discussed where you will see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. What do you see yourself in the future doing? What's kind of your plans here? And how to discern that biblically. How should we look at what we do in the future, planning for the future, through the lens of Scripture? Now, this month we're going to go through money. And the main reason why we're doing that is because I ask teens a lot, like, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? Where do you want to be at whenever you get older? And the first thing they say, they don't talk about career, they don't talk about a town or a place. They always say, I want to be rich. They don't tell me how they're going to get there, what they think about money. They just say, I want to be rich. So what does the Bible have to say about being rich? What does the Bible have to say about money? Well, money's talked about a lot in the Bible. In fact, there's over like some 2,000 verses about money and about the things around it, like greed, theft, those type of things, right? Materialism. So I just want to start, though, with some good basic principles that we see in Scripture on money. Now, once you start your job, your career, and you start making money, even if you're just starting out, maybe as 15-year-old and you're mowing lawns, right? Whenever you start making money, maybe your parents give you an allowance, birthday money, whatever. What should you do with that? Well, the first thing that should happen always when you earn any money is there's a piece of that goes back to God. Why? Because God gives us all things. Okay, so we want to show Him that we are putting Him first in our life by giving back to Him. Now, we see this started in Genesis when you have Cain and Abel, and they brought in their fruits and vegetables and their animals as a sacrifice to the Lord. They would bring their best of their first fruits to Him, because again, all things come to God and we show Him glory by giving back. Leviticus 27:30-32 talks about giving a 10% of your grain and animals, which back then was their currency, right? Was their money, giving that back to the Lord, okay? So it does seem fitting right at this point, though, to talk about the New Testament. Now, the New Testament does say that we each get to decide with our hearts what to give. That's 2 Corinthians 9:6-7. However, I think it's a good principle. If we're starting with the heart, it's a good principle to know if God says something in the Old Testament and it carries through, that we should use that as a principle for our lives. So giving 10% has kind of been that throughout Christianity, giving that 10% back to Him as a starting point, okay? If you can't find ways to begin to give 10%, then just give a little of what you got, okay? So after you have given your tithe, your 10% back to God, how do you give it back to God? You give it through His church. Why? Because He builds His church, okay? So after you give that 10%, now what do you do with what you have left? Okay, there is a thing about planning for the future in Scripture. So putting a little bit aside for the future, for whenever there's good times, we put a little bit back for the bad times, okay? Proverbs 6:6-8 says this. It says, "Go to the ant, you slacker, observe its ways and become wise. Without a leader, without administrator, without a ruler, it prepares its provisions in the summer, in the good times, for food during harvest," okay? So it's already setting food back. It's gathering food during the good times for the not so good times as an ant. So like the ant goes in the good times and the bad. Also, Proverbs 10:5 says, "The son who gathers during summer is prudent. The son who sleeps during harvest is disgraceful." So prepare yourself in the good times. Now, a lot of Christian financial people, they're going to state that you should probably have about 3 to 6 months of whatever your bills are, of your expenses, right? So if you're a teenager and you got to pay for your gas, your insurance, what, I don't know, your deodorant, your toothpaste, whatever it is, right? You look at that and you say, okay, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars each month to pay for these things. So I want to have 3 to 6 months of that saved up. Now, you're not going to get there just in a week. You're going to start putting back, and I would say it's good to put back about 20% of your income until you have reached that 3 to 6 month of expenses, right? So you need to strive for that. Put some back and save for the future. Now, then you need to leave some for charity. Now, what's the difference between tithing, offering, and charity, right? So tithing's to the Lord, it's to the church, right, for the Lord, and the charity is to other people. Maybe it's missionaries, maybe it's ministries that you really enjoy. Maybe it's you see someone and they need a coat, they need shoes, they need food, and you're going to take that charity that you've put back and you're going to use that to bless them, to show them who Christ is by using your money wisely for them. Maybe it's putting gas in someone's car, right? Most say, and again, I say most, and who am I talking about? I'm talking about like your Christian financial people like Dave Ramsey, the Money Matters guys, those type of people. Most say 10% should be left for charity. So now you have 10% tithe, 20% savings for the future, for bad times, and then you have 10% in charity. That adds up to 40%. So you have a total of 40% of your income coming out right away, right out of the gate. Now, you might be maybe a parent or an adult watching this and you're saying, "Whoa, TC, I can't do that, man. I'm broke." And I get it. You say, all my money's gone before the bills even get here. Like they're paying for the bills and all my money's gone. I don't have enough to save. Now, if you don't, the first thing you do is try to put money for tithe. We want to give back to the Lord, the very first thing. Okay, so don't think about savings. Don't think about charity. Think about pay your bills, but think about giving back to the Lord. And maybe it's only 1%. Okay, and that's fine. Start there. But I want to caution you, don't cheat God. So what I mean by that is don't be out here buying all these subscriptions and your Netflix and your Hulus and your cell phones and all these things, right? Don't be out here doing all that stuff and your 150-inch TV and only giving 1% or giving none. Don't cheat God out of what he deserves. Okay, now work your way up to that 10%. Start looking for ways that you overspend and you can cut them out and just to meet that 10% first. Then work on your savings and then charity, okay? Trust me, you will get there. And it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to cut everything out at once, but you will get there. You just got to take time. And parents, just because you can't get there, you're not at 10% now, doesn't mean you don't start teaching your kids to do the 10% as you're working on yours. Okay, so get them in a habit now, so that way later they'll already be ready for this. So any birthday money or allowance maybe that you even give them to teach them about this, even if you're only giving them 50 cents allowance, 50 cents just to show them how to do this. You're going to go get some dimes, right, and maybe some pennies, and you're going to show them how to tithe out of that 50 cents and how to save and how to give. And this is going to pay dividends, pun intended, pay dividends for them in the future, okay? It will help set them up on the right path. Teens, if you are starting to do this now while you're young and you don't have very many bills or any at all, see, you're going to set your life up where you are not spending more than 60% of your income on bills and things that you can just go do, okay? You'll set yourself up now to be in a habit of tithing, of saving, and of giving charity. So this is huge for you. Do it now when you're young. Start now and begin to set that habit. So when you're in the future, when you're getting older, when you're starting your career, your job, you know exactly what to do. I have envelopes, right? You take envelopes and you write on them tithe, charity, and savings, right? Also, if you have any bills, I would write bills on the envelopes. And my mom actually taught me the envelope system, and I'm a big proponent of that. So you set that up and you just put it back in the envelope. And then when you go to church, you give the tithe. When you see someone in need, you go get your envelope and you know what you have. And then you can give to that person or to that ministry or whatever it is that you want to support. When something happens and your car breaks down or whatever, you have your savings now that you can go to and it can help you along the way. Start now for the future. Guys, next week we're going to continue on this series of money, 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 money. And we're going to talk about temptation, okay? I hope you enjoyed today. I hope to see you next week. I hope you see the value in what the Bible has to say about money. It's not quiet about money. I only hit just a few little verses. So if you want more, just literally type in Bible money in Google and it will pop up. I promise you that. Type that in, do your research, do your work, see what the Lord has to say about it. Start setting your life up now for the future. Hey, we hope to see you guys next week.